Hola, good evening. Hello again. We are going to have I'm going to start again. The heat's kind of affecting me quite like oh god, I must be a snowman or something. Like I just can't function. I've been at work all day as well, so I think a combination of walking to work this morning, then working all day, and then walking home, and then running after a 2-year-old and crazy heat, and I'm like, ugh. But anyway, it's nice weather, and so we should enjoy it and shut up complaining. So I watched True Detective last night, and I have slept on it, and so that's what I'm going to talk about tonight. I did also watch episode 2 of The Brink. Well, I watched half of it, and I'm done. Can't watch anymore, unfortunately. It just doesn't grab me. It's too stereotypical in what it is. Like, I'm all for comedy. I love comedy. I'm not like a really dark, depressing people have to die for me to enjoy it. But it, yeah, it really is too much the same as all of the other political comedies I've ever seen. So if it had something new, I would probably be more interested. But it doesn't. It hasn't grabbed me at all. Although if you guys carry on watching it and want to, give me feedback and tell me whether or not it's worth me trying to pick up and actually watch, then I will. I'll definitely have a look at that. So True Detective. I watched episode 2 last night. Obviously, in my last video, I couldn't remember the actress's name. Rachel McAdams. She's brilliant. I really do love her. I really love the derogatory things that I said about the first episode. Sorry, guys. But yeah, I mean, I took to watching it, from a very objective point of view. So like totally discounting season 1 and just going with what season 2 is. Obviously, it's very different. And the more I think about it, the more I watch, the more I like it. It's like watching an entirely new series, which a new TV show, which is really cool. And the characters are really, really interesting and really, really awesome. Obviously, Rachel McAdams, I like her character. Like, she's a really strong female character. That's something that I really like in anything. Like, a lot of my favourite characters tend to be the very strong female, I don't need no man sort of characters. I mean, obviously, Cersei Lannister, Daenerys Targaryen to an extent. Yeah, that sort of character. So I really do like her. The only thing is, I think that they've sort of given her some kind of daddy issues. It's not overly elaborated on, like, and you see her dad in the first episode, and there's obviously something there, but I mean, yeah, she's a great character anyway. I almost feel like that is very stereotypical, I guess. Um, but she's really strong. She's really, and I really like watching her interact with Colin Farrell because it's odd. Like I can't tell if she fancies him or wants to punch him in the face, and I can relate to that. So I really really enjoyed this episode. Obviously, we're still getting to grips a bit with Colin Farrell's character Ray, his corruption, because obviously he is very corrupt. Um, Following on from the first episode, obviously during the first episode, his wife was raped, and he got in touch with Vince Vaughn, who is a gangster, Frank, and the rapist was dealt with. The wife didn't appreciate that. I think that's it's a bit heartless, like just a thought that right. But yeah, I mean, and there's this whole idea, and it's only sort of slightly put across in the first episode, but the whole idea that Ray's son is in fact the son of the guy that raped his wife. So there's like a comment about how his son was born 9 months after the rape. So yeah, I think he sort of acknowledges that, but doesn't want to openly admit it. It's like yeah, I mean it's interesting, and I don't. No, I'm really interested to see what's gonna happen there. In the last episode we saw the ex-wife telling him that he couldn't see his son anymore, which pretty much, sent him a bit off the rails a little bit. And it's kind of interesting to see his relationship with Vince Vaughn develop, because obviously he has this very I'm sorry, I'm like redoing my hair here. Doesn't look good, it's been up all day. He's had this very corrupt relationship with Vince Vaughn, because Vince Vaughn is a career criminal. I don't think gangster's the right term. He's a career maybe trying to go straight, maybe. Obviously, at the end of episode 1, we saw the Casper found dead, and he was the main guy for. God, it's a wreck. Christ, I hate being a girl. Yeah, so we saw Casper, who was Vince Vaughn's main investor, I think, from what I've picked up so far. And he's dead, and Vince Vaughn has no money, and so I feel bad for Vince Vaughn, which, I feel bad for a lot of the characters in this. I feel bad for Vince because he's been ripped off. I feel bad for Colin Farrell's character because he's not allowed to see his son, and he's having a tough time. Again, Rachel McAdams' character, I feel bad for her because she's a woman in a man's world, and there's this sort of scene where she's interviewing a man. Her and Colin Farrell are interviewing this guy, and the guy is talking to Colin Farrell's character. It's like she's asking the questions, but he's totally like, I'm not talking to her. So I feel bad for her in that respect. And then there is Taylor Kitsch's character, who is very messed up, I guess. He's really interesting because he's obviously got a very dark, hidden, secret past thing, and I'm really, really looking forward to seeing how that plays out. And we saw his mum in that episode, and his mum seems a bit... Yeah. I don't even think I need to, say words to convey the... But I'm definitely starting to enjoy it, a lot more than I was last week. And I'm really, really looking forward to watching some more. Whereas the second episode of The Brinks made me go, not gonna happen, the second episode of True Detective has really sort of grabbed me, and I'm really, really into it. And it's waiting a week, man. Why? Why do they do this? Once a week? I can't deal with that. I need to know, what's gonna happen to Frank and Ray, because, they're such a great pairing. I really like the way that towards the end of every single episode, well, I say every episode, there have only been 2 so far, but towards the end of both of the episodes, it's the same bar with the same girl singing, and I'd like to see that carried all the way through. I definitely would. So yeah, episode 2, I completely retract everything I said about episode 1. Basically, I was very unfair on it because I was still watching it very fresh with True Detective season 1, and I feel very bad for doing that. And now I it is what it is, and it's very, very good. It's very clever, it's very dark. There is still very, very, very little in the way of comic relief. So in season 1, it was pretty much dark all the way through. There was no real comedy in it. This one's following the same, and I'm really impressed with how Vince Vaughn is. I'm so used to seeing him in comedy roles that him being serious, I'm really, really enjoying it. I will be back next week with another update. I'll also be back either Wednesday or Thursday night, depending on, how I feel, with a Hannibal update, because I need Hannibal. I'm trying to be really good and not watch it online because I don't want to steal the ratings, basically. So I will be watching Wednesday night, so there will be a video after that. And while I'm talking about Hannibal, remember the Save Hannibal hashtag. Get on it, guys. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Save Hannibal. But we'll come back to that. Peace out, guys.